Hello, friends, and welcome to Crits&Knits. Yes, that's the one.
Whatever show this is.
Where are we?
Another one where I'm staring at DB. We just have a lot of shows together. Hi, folks. It's Wednesday, and we have a part of the gang here to do a little bit of talking about our knits, and then we've got some fun crits coming up. We're doing another pre-recorded session, one of our epilogues, because we're getting very close to the actual end, which is exciting and sad and all the things. But that also means that we're getting closer to campaign 2, so we're not giving away any spoilers on that yet. I will say that
Because some of us are still undecided about what we're going to do. So
we don't need to give away that level of secret. But I can say that right now the plan is to have the same cast back, which is exciting. I'm very excited to have all my friends back playing again. So, well, so we were chatting before stream, and hopefully getting out the worst of our random thoughts.
Probably not.
are they random? Are they intrusive? Who's to say?
I mean, Ernest and I are here. I feel like our intrusive thoughts kind of just start to mesh together at times.
Well, who's been knitting or crocheting or fiber crafting stuff and wants to talk about it? DB has a chicken hat.
I have a chicken hat.
Almost.
Is it a successfully adult-sized chicken hat?
I don't know yet. I won't know until I buy Doff because the round is not long enough to test on head. So maybe we'll find out at the end of the night when I am able to take it off of the needles. Because I have to have it done by tomorrow morning.
You can do it.
We'll see.
You can totally do it.
We'll see. I take the notes in the next stream I'm in, so like I can't
knit while you're
knit.
noting.
Yeah. But also I have to stay fully awake, so and it gets to be pushing like 1:30. But yeah, I have a chicken hat. Yay. I think we'll be fine. I think it'll fit people's heads. If not, well, I guess this person's kids have just another chicken hat because they're getting all the hats that I have made in this series of DB tries to make hats for people and it doesn't work.
I apologize. This is all my curse.
Yeah, Danny is at fault, of course, for how Deebles doesn't know how to measure things.
Yep. But yay, chicken
as
hat.
One does.
Almost done.
Yay. Sure.
I mean, it's much more done than it was. We have
26 more rows. And I know, Danny, that you're like, that's not so many, but also you sneeze and have projects done, so.
But you're doing brim to crown, right?
Uh-huh.
So they get smaller.
So the rounds will get progressively smaller.
It's true. It is true.
It's going to feel much faster as you go.
Yes.
You're going to start feeling like you're knitting like me.
I will never feel that way, Danny.
Happen like 20 years from now, 40 years from now.
I'll be dead. It's fine.
Okay.
I don't plan to be here for a long time. I'm just kidding. I'll hold on.
Jeez. Okay.
A tangent. I went to the doctor. They were like, hey, you said that you've been anxious in the last 2 weeks. I went, yeah, there were layoffs at my job.
Yep. That'll do it.
Went, yes.
You could also have gone with, I live in the U.S.
I don't know if they would have.
Except I would have had reason for anxiety.
She lives in the Ohio. Faraway land of Ohio.
Oh my God. But yeah, this is the only knitting I have done so far. I need to get better about color work, I think. I don't have good floaters.
That is a process that you just have to work through and get there. Color work takes some time.
Yeah, Ernest, you have comments? Was it about the floaters? don't. This is a safe place, friend.
No, I got nothing. I got shit. Nope.
You are full of lies.
Well, apparently, the technique that we suggested last time for Greg's ladder back jacquard method of capturing his clothes worked.
Also, I love how you said it was yours, honey.
Okay, well.
Some of us had no suggestions because we didn't know what.
But we all
any of
talked
that
a lot
was.
and had thoughts.
I mean, we always talk a lot and have thoughts.
Look, I can have thoughts.
Not all of them are good.
No.
But if we weren't all talking and having thoughts, I wouldn't have had the thought that I had. So
Fair enough.
sometimes I just need to hear other people say a lot of things before I come up with my own thing to say.
Yes.
And sometimes we learn new things, and sometimes the new things make us swear a lot and throw our needles down. Oh, so we have someone in chat
I just saw that.
who wants to play Bean Boozled, but there's actually no rolling in the epilogues.
Yeah.
Wait, did
That's
anyone
not
roll in their
true.
epilogue? Oh yeah, you
I
rolled in
did.
your epilogue. I don't
I
think
did too, but
I don't. Oh yeah. Well, I
not
don't
enough to
remember
be
if you
fun.
did.
Yeah.
But hey, hang on to them. Play with it anyway. We might. I don't remember.
Pick some knitting terms, and if we use them, then there you go.
Or if DB swears.
Oh, don't do that. They're going to have a terrible time. There'll just be a handful of beans in their mouth.
Look, you got through a whole sentence without swearing, babe.
Fuck.
Oh gosh, I hope none of the kidlets are watching tonight. That's okay.
Oops.
Well, we know Blueberry's busy being awarded awards,
Yes.
so
Yeah.
if you're finished, Deebs, I can go.
Yes, I have only done the chicken hat.
So I'm still working on the loose ends project.
Mhm.
I have begun the decreases for the armhole on the cardigan,
Mhm.
and the pattern. Either it's because I'm not experienced with this type of pattern, or because it's from the 60s. I'm having a difficult time deciphering what they want.
I'm going to say it's because it's from the 60s, because patterns then were written very differently.
Yeah, because it says, like, the way it's written is for these different sizes, there's different things you do, which is fine. I figured out which size the original projector was doing. But it says decrease 1 stitch at armhole edge on the next 4 rows, and then every other row until 42 stitches remain, work even, blah, blah, blah. You can't decrease, unless I don't know how to do it, you can't decrease on every row, because then you'd have like a little whoopsie.
Yeah, that gets weird. It probably means like every pair of rows would be my...
That's all I can think, but I'm just gonna...
Honestly, as long as you do both arms the same, it'll
Exactly.
be fine.
Yeah. Because there's not one I'm matching. The original crafter didn't get this far.
Okay.
So I'm thinking I'm just gonna decrease until I get to 42 stitches and then go straight up.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
It'll be fine. I had hoped I was going to have more dedicated knitting time this last week, because I was selected for jury duty, and now I've lost my page.
Fun times.
There we go. I was selected for jury duty, and I was called to go to the courthouse to be part of selection. And I was like, oh, I'll bring my knitting. Oh, maybe I should check to see if knitting needles are allowed, because I know the courthouse is a little hanky about stuff like that. Sure enough, knitting needles not allowed. Fuck.
Boo.
So I spent the evening trying to find a crochet project to cast on, hook on, I don't know, to begin looping.
Yeah.
And I found one, and it was for mittens, because I was like, oh, I'll make something I can donate to the shelter or whatever. and use stash yarn. So I get there and, well, first I went to the wrong courthouse.
Oh no.
I went to the
hate that.
Superior Court, but it was for the municipal court, and I made it with like 2 minutes to spare. They're in different towns.
Oh gosh.
But so I'm walking through the metal. I put my bag on the thing and go through the metal detector, and the security guard hands me my bag, and I'm like, "Aren't you going to check?" And he's like, "No, you don't look like you're going to cause trouble."
What?
Exactly. What? I'm like, okay.
Okay.
I got this at the bomb factory. They're bombs. Like,
wow.
Anyway, so that was interesting. And then I get up to the like the jury room where we're all hanging out for a good hour and a half. And lo and behold, what do my eyes perceive but another potential juror knitting a sock.
Boo.
I'm so mad. So I'm just
yeah.
I ended up frogging it anyway because I didn't like the way it was looking, and I didn't think that I would have enough yarn for both mittens, so
right,
it's fine. So the next day when I went back for service, I ripped it all out and started on a hat with the same yarn, and then over the weekend the case had been resolved, so we were all allowed to leave.
Okay. Well, I mean, I
But
guess
I didn't get
that's
as much.
good.
I mean, yeah, but I didn't get as much crafting time in as I had wanted.
Yeah. A lot
And
easier
these,
to craft at jury duty than at work.
yeah, because I can only do it on my lunch break at work. Well, I guess I could do it on my 15s, but oftentimes I just don't go back to the break room. Just go hide somewhere. But the last few work days have been so stressful that I can't concentrate on this important project.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have been farting around on my phone playing Pokemon Go.
Sometimes that's what you need to do.
Yeah. So that's and I'm using my captain's log for my notes for this project that one of my coworkers got me for Christmas because I 3D printed him a Deep Space Nine.
Nice.
He was like, I got you this. And I was like, I love it.
You've been printing stuff too, hey?
Yeah. I don't have any of it with me right now, but check out the Crits&Knits Discord and join the 3D printing channel.
Yeah.
Where you can see me complain about not knowing how screws work.
Look, screws are a challenge, man. Especially when you're like trying to create them.
Yeah. Well, there's like a straight up button on Fusion 360, but this last iteration of the needle holder, they are the same size and therefore don't go together.
Yeah.
So I just need to adjust the size of the
interior.
I guess it would be the female side. Anyway, it's gross. I think it's gross. Yeah. But the female side, I just have to make it a little larger so I can put the top on, and then I only have to reprint the top as opposed to the bottom that takes 3 hours.
Right. Yeah, that makes a difference to not have to do quite so much.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
That's all I got. I did show you my clover stopper, right?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, that is so cool.
It's great, except that the wheels will still spin in your pocket or your
But I feel like it's less likely for the wheels to spin than for the clicker to click.
This is true, but it has happened, and I was like, wait a minute, I thought I was on row 7, not row 17.
Oh, that's a pain.
Yeah, especially when there's a 20 stitch or 20 row repeat of a fisherman's net panel.
Oh shit! Yeah.
And that's it. That's all I got.
Well, cool. What about you, Ernest? You been working on stuff?
I have intentions to work on things. I have this yarn sitting like right here, and this is like the first time I've solidly been in my office or anywhere near my knitting supplies like this week.
Oof. That's always fun.
It's been crazy. Like I have intentions to do all kinds of stuff. I should probably get on that, honestly, especially since we'll have a whole new season coming soon.
Hell yeah. I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh well.
Nothing too urgent, I suppose. But, I mean, sometimes just looking at your yarn and enjoying it is a good thing. I have some glow in the dark yarn that just sits in my living room and scares the crap out of me occasionally when I come down in the middle of the night, like, what the fuck is on the table? All right, my yarn. It's okay. I also have glow in the dark nail polish that sits in the nail polish holders mounted to my wall by the bathroom, and that also scares me in the middle of the night. Why is my wall glowing? Oh, right. You'd think I'd have figured it out by now, but no.
No.
And also my AirPod case glows, so I've got all sorts of glowy things in my life.
Especially your personality.
Aww. I have the best coworkers. So, well, okay, some of them are the best. Others are absolute shit. But some of them are the best. And
As
the best
is the way with coworkers.
Yes. The best ones, we've had a lot of stuff going on at our office. And a lot of things that I knew about for months but couldn't say anything about because of confidentiality clauses and stuff and all that. All that to say, things have been a challenge. And these two walked into my office yesterday morning, just looking like trouble. I'm like, oh no, did you break something? What am I going to have to fix? And they both laugh at me. Like, no, we have a present for you. And they slide this little plastic wrapped package across the table to me. I'm like, oh, it's socks, and they got flowers. And then I pick it up and flip it over. And embroidered on the leg of the sock, it says, fresh out of fucks. I'm like, I love you guys. So those are going to be my Friday socks from now on, because by the time Friday rolls around, I am indeed fresh out.
I once I stole a pen. And it just said, that's not my job. And I specifically gave it to my boss.
I love that.
I also bought her a plaque similar to the one that E found that says, please ask somebody else. And then we all three of us have the emotional support dumpster fire.
Yes, that is an important one to have.
So as they ship us back to the office, all of the shit will end up on our desks.
Nice.
Is it a real desk, or are you still hoteling desks, or whatever they call it?
Currently, right now, we're hoteling desks because they aren't sending us back full time until June/August. Sorry.
That's homophobic.
June/July. It is. But what you gonna do?
Oh man, I was talking about this today, like the discourse around going back to the office, and like I honestly feel like I get more work done at the office. I know that's not. I am in the minority, straight up. Like I have too many distractions at home.
Sure.
Like I could be doing anything other than my job at home.
The biggest problem is we don't have enough desks for them to make everybody go back to the office full time. Because they sold our biggest building.
Yep. This is all about state taxes and people getting their money. Mm-hmm. It's bullshit. But also the flip side is that at work I cannot have my 50-inch. I'm sorry, no, my 60-inch monitor.
That is a nice monitor size.
That is the size of our living room television.
I can't sit around with all this monitor real estate and be like, and make people and get weird in Zoom meetings or Teams meetings like, Ernest, your screen is your screen really big? We can't see anything. I'm like, yeah, sorry. Nope. Can't share. Like,
Yep.
yeah. So it's like, man, I would actually also, if I were working at an office, I would like to have my own desk. I don't want to hotel a desk.
Correct.
I don't want to have to hot swap desks. I don't want to have to, come in and find a desk every day. I want to be able to come in and go, there's my desk, and I walk in and I go to it. If that's how it's gonna be.
I have made it like I get there. The only other person in the building when I walk in is my director because no one is taking the fucking desk that I have claimed. It ain't happening.
Like, yeah, if I don't get a fucking nameplate that says this is my desk, then fuck it. Like,
I'm under the like I'm not going to be happy about it, but I'll fucking do it kind of thing. And mostly I'm not happy is because they're talking about taking a lot of the flexibility that we had before away too. Where they're like micromanaging when you badge in kind of thing. And I'm over here going, hey, as someone who is currently trying to get their health underway, I'm not driving 40 minutes to my appointment to then have to drive an hour or more to the office kind of thing. So, but also I hate interviewing for jobs, so I will just bitch and moan and keep working where I am.
Yeah, there's that.
I I hate when you apply for a job and it says, "Oh, upload your resume and our system will parse it," and then it doesn't,
And you have to type it all in?
and you have to type it all in, or it does it very poorly, and you have to type it all in anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have had to do that at my own job when I've applied internally.
Mm-hmm.
That's just dumb.
Or like multiple companies will use the Brass Ring software, but you have to make a new Brass Ring account for company Y and B Corporation. Why doesn't Brass Ring just have my info? I know you have it. Why don't you have it?
Why do you need to have it in 7 different places?
Mm-hmm.
I have had to start using Microsoft Teams at work, and I am not enjoying this.
No. We used a lot of Teams at department store that I did work at. And we use it less so at home improvement store that I do work at. And I am glad we don't use it quite as much.
Yeah.
We also use Teams because work decided that they wanted to go all Microsoft. It used to be Skype.
Oh, well, funny story.
Yep. Ridiculous.
I just can't believe Skype fumbled the ball as hard as they did at the beginning of the
Right?
pandemic.
They could have been so good, but nope.
Well, we had already switched to Team. Had we? Yes, we had already switched to Teams before the panorama.
Fair, but still,
Yeah.
Skype fucked up. Now they're going out of business.
Mm-hmm.
and they already had market, they already had like market recognition. Like, we're using the name to describe the action.
Mm-hmm.
They had the Xerox effect.
Right.
Yep.
It's Xeroxing. It's Googling it. It's Kleenex. They had it. They were in, right? And like,
And then nope.
man, that's such a big bad fumble. I think Brandley Mulligan actually has a skit about this.
He would.
Sounds about right. Well,
Danny, is that the blankie?
It is the blankie, and it's getting bigger.
Blankie sized.
It is. I'm probably about halfway through the colored yarn. I've got plenty of the cream, so I'm working my way through that. But that is the only thing that I can really show, because oh my goodness, test knits out the wazoo. I've finished one sock. I've got a sweater that I'm on Sleeve Island. I've got 2 more.
What is Sleeve Island?
It's where you just sort of lose motivation as you're working on the sleeves because the body of the sweater is done.
That's the fun part.
It is. And now it's just 2 tubes. But I'm doing them 2 at a time, so that does make it a little bit easier because I won't finish one and then still have to do another.
It's like your sock situation.
Exactly. I'm doing another thing that I can't talk about, but right now it doesn't look like anything, so I can show you. I learned a new cast on today that involved a lot of swearing.
You just cast that on, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, because sneeze done.
But also this is a thicker yarn, so it's not like fingering weight.
That doesn't matter. Like you just cast that on as we were preparing to get on stream. I saw you do it.
Because you also cursed while Ernest and I were here before you got here going.
But I want to show you
fucking stupid cast on.
The sort of
like,
lacy
I was
look at
online
the top
before
of it.
you even got here, and like Danny was just looking at the screen going, "I'm working on this hard pattern, and I need to concentrate." And I'm like, "Cool, dope, you're armling that shit." And then it's like, poof.
So this used the Tilly Buddy cast on.
Friend of Judy.
Well, it's not as bad as it started off. I think the first video I watched was not demonstrating it very well because there's a thing where you have to swing your needle around between the 2 stitches and catch the one.
Swing your needle round.
And I kept coming up with 2 pieces of yarn on my needle, and there's only supposed to be 1. And I was getting so mad at it. But then I watched someone else's tutorial, and they had zoomed in enough that I could see that they weren't actually going through the stitch on the needle. They were going between the 2 stitches. And
did you watch mein Lieblings YouTuber, Norman?
I didn't. I should have gone for Norman. He would have explained it first time and I would have been fine.
Mein Liebling.
But yeah, and I have to go cast on a crochet because I think that one's due on Friday. I've done a lot of testing. Did I show you guys the dragon? I think it was just DB that saw the dragon. Okay. Well, it's upstairs, but I'll try and bring it next week. But I did a test for a sleeping baby dragon. And I will link to that in Discord if I remember. But it's a cute little crochet one. And I had to make a couple of little adjustments to not the pattern, but the yarn that I used in different sections of the pattern. Because it has this really fluffy eyelash yarn. And I think the eyelash yarn that I have is too fluffy. Because I couldn't do a magic ring. I just ended up with a massive snarl.
A knot.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I can't crochet around with this. So I had to swap out for another yarn. But I think it still turned out really adorable.
It did.
And then the other crochet one that I'm going to be casting on, I will have it to show next time because it'll be done by then. It's a poop bag cover in the shape of a puppy, but the bags come out the butt because that's what people do. Yeah. But I'm looking forward to starting on that one. Ooh, but I can show you this little guy that I got. This
little guy
is my tentacle kitty, my adventurer.
Oh yeah.
Critical creature campaign critter, tentacle kitty. And so this is the mage costume. There's a staff, and the beard comes off, so you can see the cute little smile. And she's got a hat and a little cape, and came with a navy blue hat and cape as well. And I'm just really enjoying my little tentacle kitty. She sits and watches me play games and roll badly. She's not helping the dice luck, but that's okay. She's still cute.
Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh. Did we misread the pattern? Greg wasn't even here counting numbers.
Hold on.
Oh, and I lost my cable needle somewhere.
Oh, man.
But luckily I had another one.
So which kind of cable needle do you use? It's the one that's got the
little
like bend in the middle?
Whoop.
Okay.
Yep. I know you don't use cable knittles, Mrs.
Oh
Fancy
no,
Pants.
I do. I don't do when it's like a 1 or 2 stitch cable because it feels like it takes longer for me to find the cable needle, do all that, and put it back. But I worked on, was it the sweater I was doing that had like you slip one to the back and one to the front and then knit the two and then knit the one from the back and then the one from the front, and it was like a whole bunch. So I had to have 2 cable needles to do the cable.
Fuck.
But I've been using a bamboo set that is just straight, but it's a little thinner in the middle. So I've been using those, but I also have the U-shaped ones, or the, I guess, more J-shaped.
Yeah,
I like those too.
I have those as well.
Do you have a preference for which one?
I've really only ever used the little woobly doo ones. Because that's just like the first one I grabbed, and I just never looked back.
I mean, if you like it and it works for you, why change it?
The U-shaped ones I have are a little bit thicker too.
So they need to be for a thicker yarn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a thicker needle.
Yeah.
Size.
Yeah.
As fuck.
I'm really liking the bamboo ones that are just like a thinner piece in the middle. Probably because they feel like they match the needles that I'm working with. But because the ends are a little bit thicker, the stitches don't just slide off. But I don't know. I used one of those and then one of those like you've got for that 3-part cable. That was a lot.
Sounds like it.
I tried doing it without a cable needle and I got a little lost. So I'm like, you know what? We're going to follow the instructions exactly and it'll be okay. And it was. It was just a lot of manipulating stitches. But it turned out really cool.
Great.
So. And I'm looking to see if there's anything else that I need to talk about, but I think that covers all my stuff. Anyone else got topics they want to talk about? No. You know, sometimes we just don't have a whole lot. One of these days I'm going to finish all these tests and I'll be able to show you stuff again, but 4 of the 6 are like secret, and I'm not supposed to post them on social media or show anyone anything until publication. So I'm like, okay, that is absolutely cool. That's the designer's choice. One of them, I'm not even supposed to mention who the designer is, which is kind of fun. But eventually I'm going to finish all of them and I'm going to work on my stuff again so I can show you things besides the dentist blanket, which I'm hoping to finish in the next couple weeks because my dentist appointment when I got the yarn was in February. So it's been almost 2 months that I've been working on it. And I want to get it back to them at some point.
You have until your next cleaning.
That's true. That's July. I could take until July. Is it July? Maybe it's August. It might be August. Anyway, it's on the calendar. I do have until the next cleaning if I want. But I'd like to get it done earlier and be able to take it in. But I also have a second project because they gave me 2 skeins of yarn. And so the one that I'm working on the blanket with is a BFL blend of yarn, and the other one is a merino silk. And so they have very different textures, and the colors didn't quite match. So I decided that instead of trying to force them both into a project, and they're both like limited amounts, that's all it is, hand-dyed, hand-spun by a woman who has passed. So there is no getting any more. Which is why I'm using the cream color to sort of extend the blanket. But the silk one I found some patterns for loveys. So I think I'm going to do a little rabbit lovey, where it's like the rabbit head, and then instead of a body, it's just like a mini blanket. So that it's a little like cuddly thing. Because I think that'll work nice with the weight of the silk blend. Because it's a pretty hefty amount of silk. Like, I want to say 50-50 or 60-40, something like that. So, yeah. Anyone else got future knitting plans?
Someday I will finish this project.
Yeah.
And do some socks because I have a lot of sock yarn kits and things that
Yes.
are calling my name, and my heart keeps saying 3D print a sock machine.
Oh.
And then my time and budget says don't do that.
Yeah. If you didn't have to buy all the hooks and stuff too,
Yeah.
because that adds to the budget substantially. But yeah, I've been dreaming of a circular sock knitting machine because I have.
And also, I feel like it might take the fun out of it because you can only really do stockinette.
Yeah.
Or can you?
No, you can do ribbing, and you can, if you practice, you can do heels and toes on them as well.
Oh, fuck off, Danny! No.
But I've seen people do it. Like there's a way to do like you put certain needles down and go to a certain point. You're supposed to be able to do the toes and the heels as well. I'm like, that's a lot. I figured when I eventually get one, I'm just going to knit all the tubes and then get some contrast minis and do heels, toes, and cuffs, and just like cut the yarn and do afterthought heels and whatnot. We are talking about circular circular sock machines, Greg. Circular. Oh gosh. Yep.
Ocular.
Circular. Yeah, we were talking about it because he also wants to print one. So yes. Whoever prints it first is going to be the guinea pig. Tell us all how it works, and then send us the same files so that we all have the same one if they work.
Let's get Greg to do it.
It works for me.
I think Greg is probably the most mechanically minded out of us, so that would
volunteer him as tribute.
And my 3D printer is currently busted. We've got to replace the nozzle, and
boo,
have not got around to that yet. So, see, Greg already knows someone who did it successfully. So there we go. Someone else has already problem solved for us.
B-files.
Yes.
I have a whole collection on Thingiverse that's just knitting stuffs.
Oh, I should send you my mini Nitty Naughty files, because I designed it.
Ooh, fancy.
When I get the screws to work, I'll send you my DPN case files.
Yep.
I intend to make them in multiple sizes for like the standard range, but without purchasing the full version of Fusion 360, you can only have 10 working files at a time. So I would have to really get it right and then do the thing.
Yeah. Well, I should also send you, since we're talking about 3D printing knitted stuff, I've got I designed a gauge tool that is, it's about yay big, but it's got sections to measure your gauge. You just lay it on top of your knitting and count the number of stitches in each section, but there's a 4-inch, 3-inch, 2-inch, and 1-inch. So it works for different sizes. Like ideally you do like a 6-inch gauge swatch, and most of us don't do that. But if you did, you lay it down, and because it's got a sort of L-shaped holes, you can count your stitches and your rows. And it's just really nice to be able to put that flat on something instead of like trying to stretch out your tape measure and mess around with it like that.
I got a really cheap Susan Bates metal one that has the L-shaped cutout and the holes for the needles sizes.
Yes.
I love
But those
that.
only theoretically, apparently only apply to the Susan Bates ones.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've been betrayed.
Yeah. Because other brands are slightly different. And so,
So-
you're going to have a harder time figuring it out.
That's shitty.
I
Yes.
hear that we have a fist fight with Susan and Judy coming up.
I think Susan's dead.
I think she might be.
Is Judy?
No, Judy's
We don't
alive.
know. We couldn't find her.
I thought we found her.
Oh,
I
No.
found an article
Oh.
that Judy wrote 10 years ago.
she might be dead,
She might be dead.
which means we're fist fighting ghosts.
I mean, that
Yeah,
sounds on
look.
par for us.
Also, I just feel like we need a sticker that's like fist fights with knitting designers,
Oh,
and we
Knit
just
is Susan's way dead. She started working for the firm Tyler and Post in 1861.
Okay.
she could still be alive.
No, that doesn't seem right. Like, because Judy had like a. Oh, it's Susan.
Susan,
Dead. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Susan.
You're talking about Judy. Okay, yeah. We're
Yeah.
talking about Susan, yeah. Well, look.
Susan was reincarnated into Judy.
Ooh, Judy lore. The Judy lore is getting deeper. Look, all I'm saying is if Judy has no haters, I'm dead.
Well, on the note of fist fighting ghosts.
Susan isn't even a woman.
What?
Susan was a man.
Originally, C.J. Bates and Son, the company began when Carlton Joseph Bates bought the business from his employer.
Ah. Did
Now
he
we
name
got
it after a daughter?
I'm
or
looking,
did
I'm
she-
looking.
Oh, we can't go now. We've got to wait for the lore. This
It
is-
wouldn't be until the 1930s when the company started using its own brands, Chester and Barbara Bates. I assume Chester was the original location in Chester, Connecticut. In the 1940s, the brand Chester was changed to Zephyr and Barbara Bates to Susan Bates.
Huh.
So I don't think she's real.
She's just a good name. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Susan.
we're gonna fist fight corporations.
Yes. Correct.
That feels appropriate for this year, 2025.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Well, we got some answers. And now that we're feeling all solved and satisfied, we're going to go ahead and take a brief break. And then we're going to come back and everyone can find out what happened to Isolt. So it's been lovely, and we'll see you on the other side.
Bye.
Welcome to another epilogue. Today we're going to be talking to Isolt and finding out what is going on in her world after they finished up at the school. So last we saw Isolt, she had plans to go to the Fey realm to rescue Callie, who had been sent there by Erasmus's wish. He asked for her to be somewhere safe, and that is what the universe decided. So, Isolt, how do you normally get to the Fey realm?
It's not a normal occurrence for me to take that step over. Paladins and clerics are not wizards, but we can touch base with our deities as necessary. And I think she would start off by reaching out through that divine connection and asking, can you fetch me over? And if not, then she'll pester the headmaster to make him send her over.
I think you get a fairly quick response. And it's less of a reply so much as it is just a yank. And you're there. Whether you wanted to go now or not, you are there.
Well, you know, when gods and goddesses call, we mere mortals must obey. Definitely, like, take a second to reorient. Not a fan of plain stepping. It is more unsettling than normal teleportation.
Yes, very much so. So as you look around, it's a vaguely familiar area. It's maybe the same grove you were in last time you visited. Maybe not. They all look kind of the same. There's a really nice pool of water, very clean, sort of a silver shimmer to the surface. Lots of very healthy green plants everywhere. And as you look around, you do spot a very large, white, sort of shimmering white unicorn on the edge of the water. And there's a girl standing beside her. And you very quickly recognize Callie.
I will walk over with some care because this is, in a very real sense, holy ground. So I will walk over there, you know, removing my helmet, and LaRue knows that I'm there, so I don't need to clear my throat or anything, and we'll just approach and clasp my hands behind my back and wait to be acknowledged.
It takes a moment. As you're looking, you can see Callie's hand is on LaRue's shoulder, and she's looking up at this unicorn goddess with just wide eyes that are shining. And as you look a little closer, they seem to maybe literally be shining. And after a moment, LaRue steps back, and Callie takes down her hand and turns. Miss Isolt, right?
Very good. Hello, Callie.
Hello. Is everything okay? Everything was bad when I left.
Everything was bad when you left, and it took a little while to set it to rights, but things are very messy at the school right now, but they are in the process of being put back together. The necromancer is dead. The you should discuss with the headmaster. Assuming that you're wanting to go back there, I say looking between her and LaRue.
Well, I am going to continue my studies, but she grins. I've got maybe a slightly different path to learning some more magic.
Are you going the way of the blade or the way of the cleric?
The way of the cleric, I believe. It just feels right, you know?
I do know. Congratulations and welcome, little sister.
Well, thank you. And she looks up as if she's heard a voice and nods to LaRue and says, I'm going over here. And she walks away to give you a moment.
You could work on that subtlety. And then I'm gonna turn and do. It's a very formal bow, unsheathing my sword, resting it across a knee as I kneel in front of LaRue, giving her the full obeisance due a goddess.
And you feel the warmth of her greeting wash over you. You get the sense that she's not feeling particularly talkative today, but you're able to feel her warmth, to feel her appreciation and a greeting.
We made it through another one. This one was interesting, shall we say. Have kids always been this irritating?
And she gives her head a shake and a little bit of a snort, and you can very much tell that she's in agreement that the young ones are a lot.
Indeed. But they are where our future lies.
Another nod.
It has been my honor since I was quite young to serve under your name, and when I was older to take up the blade as your paladin. But I think it may be time for me to officially lay it down. Before, when I went to Penny Crossing, you and I both know I didn't really retire. The kids forced me into it. They had ideas about what an old lady can and can't do. And I didn't agree, and in my grief and my pain, I let them tell me what I needed to do because I was lost. But helping Penny Crossing, helping the people there, helping the school, there's always more evil in the world. There's always more darkness. And I can't always be the one to fight it. I think it's time for those irritating kids to start stepping up, and they can't do that if I don't move out of the way.
LaRue steps forward and leans down so that the iridescent horn atop her head just taps your shoulder, and you feel several things all at once. You feel her warmth, her acceptance. You feel her appreciation. And you feel a sudden lightness that you haven't felt in quite some time. You feel as if a literal burden has been lifted from your shoulders. And you lay down your sword on the ground in front of you.
I think this should belong to the next person who steps up to be a defender of light. I've never liked the pink jewel anyway. You know that. Said with the greatest affection.
She leans in, and in the past, I don't know that she's been overly physically affectionate with Isolt. That's not the sort of thing that deities tend to do with their followers.
Sure.
But she gets up close, and you feel the soft fur of her muzzle just against the side of your face and your neck, and a little woof of hot air as she snorts out a little breath.
I chuckle at that and reach up and put a hand alongside her muzzle.
And she accepts that touch far more than she would have before.
Thank you for everything. You've given me a path and a purpose. Now it's time to find a different one. Go and actually be that grandmother that they all want me to be. And Isolt is actually like tearing up. She doesn't quite like, this is letting go of who she's been pretty much all of her life as a soldier and then as a paladin. It's like she feels lighter, but also a little unsteady without that.
And LaRue will stay there a moment longer, letting you sort of gather yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And when she feels that Isolt is ready to stand on her own, she will step back and lift her head. And you see Callie perk up across the lake. And she comes scurrying around and looks at you, looks at the sword on the ground, and looks at you again and tilts her head a little bit to the side. Are you, going to take me home?
I think between our goddess and me, we can get you home.
Okay, thank you. And before sending you back to the normal mortal plane, LaRue dips her head one more time and taps the center of Callie's chest. And you see a pendant form there with that same pink stone that just really isn't your thing. Callie reaches out for your hand.
I will take it.
And as her hand closes around yours, you both feel that uncomfortable whoosh of planar transport, and you find yourselves back at the school.
Take a moment to reorient back to this material plane and then look at Callie. Give me just a moment. And Isolt will begin removing her armor and putting every piece of it into the bag of holding that she's carried pretty much everywhere. Well, a secondary bag of holding. The first one has loot that she is taking with her. But she will pack up the armor, pack up the magical items that have been so helpful throughout, with the exception of the boat that she will be taking home with her.
Mm-hmm.
And once everything is packed up, she will hand the bag to Callie. Followers of the unicorn tend to work in pairs, a cleric and a paladin.
Oh.
There's going to be another one who will be called.
Would you pass this along for me when they are?
Of course, yes. And thank you for everything that you've done, you and your friends. And she looks around at the mess of the school. Okay, yeah. I'll be okay.
It is the unfortunate reality that the next generation tends to be left with the messes of the previous one, and I'm sorry that there is this much for you and your peers to clean up.
We'll make it work.
And hey, Erasmus is sticking around. He's
Oh.
going to be teaching here, apparently.
Oh, that's fantastic. Oh, I love Mr. Fowler. He's great.
He is a lovely person, and I think that the school will be much better for his presence.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Oh, well, that's so good to know. And
Hey.
you'll be safe?
I'll be safe. Even if I'm not technically a paladin anymore, you can't take away years of training.
Good.
And who's going to bother an old woman on the road?
Well, no one with any brains. That's for sure.
Truthfully. Good luck to you. And Isolt will write down something on a piece of paper. If you have any questions about anything, that's my address. Feel free to write at any time or stop by.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And she will take her leave and head off into the school to see what she can do to help with fixing everything. Isolt, do you plan to travel the long way like Herder did? Or are you going to take one of the teleportation circles?
I think I'm going to take I think that I'm going to take the long way around for kind of the same reason as Herder did, but a different flavor of it. He was re-experiencing what it is to be a bard on the road. I am experiencing what it is to not be a paladin. And I need that space and that time to figure out who Isolt Argery is without that before showing up at the house that I once shared with my wife.
So as you travel, are you heading back to Pennycross? Are you heading somewhere else?
I'll go to Pennycross first just to collect my things and say a proper goodbye to anyone who is around. Make sure to say goodbye to Herder. Give him a hug. Generally check in, leave some of my stuff with the knitting group, a couple of finished projects if they want to show them off.
Excellent. Because you are traveling more slowly, you do arrive after the Golden Eagle has been refurbished. It had, as you may recall, not the Golden Eagle, Golden Frog.
Yes,
Yes,
the one that burnt with Nelith's girlfriend.
Yes, there had been a little incident.
Just a teeny one.
But they are finishing up construction, and it is essentially done by the time you get there. You see the lovely new knitting area off to the side, completely stocked with all of the kiviot that the group of you had managed to rescue from the dragon.
I forgot about that.
And Yatha Harper is sad to see you go, of course. I do love having someone who knows how to knit, but you've got to take care of yourself, and we understand. But feel free to come back and visit anytime. And your friend Owen is doing some fun little classes. So if you're back in town, you might want to. Not that you need it, of course, but.
Oh, thank you. And perhaps at some point when I get to the point where I need more assistance than I feel right put it on my family, I'll come back and live here. But for now, I am relatively hale and hearty, and I have some grandkids to help raise.
Those are the best, aren't they? Well, you have fun with that, and best of luck, and safe travels.
Thank you.
So once you have Once you've cleared out your home in Pennycross, what are you doing next?
I'm going to leave a share of the treasure in Herder's possession, sort of an investment in the Stout Singer.
Fantastic.
To, ask him to name a beer after me. Something with some fire and some punch to it.
Lovely. I'm sure he'll be quite happy to do that.
And then just take like a slow walking tour of Pennycross and just let it all sink in, and then kind of nod, sling the bag of holding with all of my possessions over her shoulder, walking stick in one hand, and set off for home.
Wonderful. Are you interested in exploring that any further, or do you feel like this is a good place to leave Isolt?
I feel like that's a good place to leave her. I feel like it's going to take her a little bit to adjust to being a civilian, but I think she's ready to settle into being a retired person, helping her daughter and the family around the old place.
Excellent. I think they're going to be quite happy to have you, especially with the changes in your life. Maybe a little less worry about you.
Yeah. I mean, I can't give up sharp objects entirely. I do take up the scythe when harvest comes round, but
Of course, of course.
gotta keep in the practice with that swing. But yeah, that is Isolt going into her sunset years and passing the baton, or in this case, the sword, on to whoever LaRue sees fit to call next.
Well, that was a lovely end for this portion of her story. And thank you so much for bringing her to Pennycross.
It was fun getting to, because I mean she was part of another story on another streaming game, and it was interesting getting to explore where her life diverged and how different she is in her 70s.
Yeah, it's not every day that you get to play out the latter part of a character's life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you
And
got
I
that
am
chance.
grateful. I'm grateful that I got to, and thank you for giving me the space to do that. I'm gonna miss this campaign, but I'm looking forward to what comes next.
And on that note, thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.